Ilan Pincus. He's a former Israeli consul general in New York. It is good to have you, Mr. Pincus, as always, Mr. Ambassador. We're seeing these live pictures right now from Andrews Air Force Base as we see the president stepping out of Air Force One and straight into his car. No remarks, which is fairly rare at this point. That could potentially speak to a sense of urgency that the president is feeling as he heads back to the White House to meet with his advisors. What is your general sense of the situation right now? The president back in Washington after cutting his trip short at the G7 and after issuing this, some would describe it as a fairly ominous warning via social media for people in Tehran to get out.
Yeah, good morning, Polo. Look, Mr. Trump, President Trump has been making contradictory remarks in the last 4 days, more than once a day. He would contradict himself, and that's fine. I mean, there's no coherent American policy, and we'll get to that in a moment. But notice something very interesting. Last Thursday, he publicly implored Israel not to attack Iran, saying, give another round of talks scheduled for Oman on Sunday, 2 days ago. Give it a chance. Once the Israeli attack began, and once it emerged that there have been operational and technological and intelligence successes, Trump, as Trump always is trying to co-opt this. He's trying to own this. So now he's warning the Iranians. So basically, the urgency with which he left the G7, we'll have to wait and see why it was that urgent. Because, it could have waited a day. But the U.S. basically, Polo, has three options now. Let's enjoy this, wait and see. It's none of our business. Let the Israelis kick Iranian butts and see what happens. The second would be to de-escalate this by making Iran an offer that they cannot refuse, so to speak, an off-ramp or a golden bridge, meaning some kind of a face-saving formula that would de-escalate everything, but allow the Iranians to leave with some dignity and respectability. The third option is what Mr. Netanyahu and what Paula Hancock indeed referred to has been saying, and that is that the U.S. will actively get involved in the war, not because you need the U.S. to bomb some military target in Tehran, but because if you do want to deliver a final, maybe not final, but a severe blow to the Iranian nuclear program, you need the kind of munitions and delivery systems, specifically the B-2 bomber, in order to do that. Israel cannot do that. So all these three options are at the president's disposal. What he will do, I don't know.
So again, that's a wait and see, de-escalate with an offer, or U.S. involvement is your analysis. Those are the three options that the president has in front of him as he heads back to the White House at this hour. Bearing that in mind, Mr. Ambassador, how much influence do you think that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu would have with the White House, given its actions from Friday when it launched those strikes, despite the president saying, hold off?
A week ago, I would have told you that Mr. Netanyahu has diminishing sway and diminishing influence on the White House, because the president was irritated and agitated and impatient with Mr. Netanyahu's constant talks about attacking Iran. Once Israel launched the attack, and I'm not sure it was done with American coordination, it was done certainly with American knowledge, several hours, maybe 24 hours before that, if you look carefully at the tone of Trump's statements the night before, all of a sudden he changed his emphasis from give talks a chance to, well, Iran should have taken this deal. I told them to take the deal. Now they're going to have to face the consequences. So this was an indication that he knew, but he did not. He was not complicit in it. Now he's trying to own it. The question is, Polo, I know we probably don't have time for this, but the real question right now is, okay, what next? If the U.S. stays out, that's option one, or if the U.S. Joins this militarily, that's option three of those three that we talked about, then that could bring about what we commonly refer to as regime change. That's great. That sounds terrific. But it's not like Alexander Hamilton and Thomas Jefferson are waiting on the sidelines in Tehran to take over from the Ayatollahs. So this could be a can of worms that who knows how will do. I don't need to remind the American viewers or indeed the international viewers what happened the last time the U.S. went about and tried to change a regime in Iraq. That did not work out very effectively or positively. So honestly, I don't know if we go to option one that Trump says, well, he goes back to Marco Rubio, Secretary of State Marco Rubio's statement early Friday morning. Well, it's not our war. We have nothing to do with it. And then Trump 2 days later say, sometimes two nations have to fight it out, quote unquote. If that happens, the question is, does this escalate, as you indicated earlier in your show?
And I'd be remiss, you're joining us from Tel Aviv. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask how you're doing. You're in a city that has seen days already of sirens and people seeking shelter. How are you doing?
Okay, I'll tell you two things. First, I was supposed to be on your show. Maybe it was John Voss. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then sirens came all over. And in fact, one of the Iranian missiles landed not far from where I am, where you reported on the North Tel Aviv Herzliya area. Okay, that's where I am. So here I am with you to tell you how it's very anxious. It's very frightening because look, these are not the rockets and missiles that people think they know from the Gaza war. These are very heavy, relatively very precise munitions lobbed from 1,000 miles away. You wake up 3 times during the night. Luckily, I can watch baseball, but the Yankees are doing so bad. So what can I say?
Mr. Ambassador, it is good to keep your spirits up, and thank you so much. We're so grateful that you're okay, that you're safe, and extremely grateful as well for your insight as always. We always learn something every time we have you on. Appreciate it.